I'm Rendan.
And I'm Parker.
And welcome back to the Less Than Perfect podcast. Would you mind giving us a spiel on what we saw this week?
We went and saw The Bone Temple. Or
Boner Temple.
28 Years Later Part 2.
Uh-huh.
As it should not be called. I think The Bone Temple is a very good name for it.
It's very fitting. Yes, very fitting. This was an incredibly dense movie. And I felt like this was the first movie in a long time where when it ended, I felt like I was just staring into nothing for a minute just to process what had just happened to me. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, honestly, I felt like it was good fitting music and atmosphere for the end credits.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of was like, wow.
What just happened?
That just happened.
So basically, what the Bone Temple is, it's a literally direct follow-up to 28 Years Later. Like, it almost picks up exactly where the last one left off.
No, it does pick up exactly where he left off, where Kid gets...
Spike
gets snatched by the skull-ish dudes.
the jimmies and the fingers.
The literal devil incarnate.
Yes. I thought, okay, this is interesting you say that, because that was like the first thing I thought of when it ended. I was like, it was almost like a war between heaven and hell. The whole movie. And it had these two very clear parallels between the devil incarnate, Jimmy, and then almost God or Jesus character with Dr. Kelson. It was so interesting. He literally resurrects somebody.
Yeah, and then there's also Samson,
right?
The beast, the alpha, who also has this whole experience of death and rebirth and coming back to life as a human, and there's a lot to unpack with that.
Yeah, yes. Maybe we should give a brief synopsis. This is going to be very spoilery, just because there's no way to talk about it without spoiling it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So
we should have a thing at the beginning that we should
just say spoiler alert from the get-go.
We need to get a sign.
Yeah. Because especially this one, like, even if you just go over the basic plot points, there's no way to talk about it without spoiling it. Because so basically it picks up right where the last one left off, like we said, with Spike falling in with the worst crowd imaginable, a cult, or the devil incarnate. And then he has to kill somebody to get in, and then they just go around terrorizing people. Meanwhile, Dr. Kelson is just vibing the whole movie. He morphines up Samson. They grow this weird kind of bond and friendship just when they're high. And then the worlds collide at the end in a hilarious, over-the-top spectacle scene where Kelson is trying to make himself look like the devil, and he just isn't very good at it. But it's funny.
Right. I think there's actually a lot of fun parts in it from the beginning. Just kind of some of the ridiculousness that I love in movies that you don't really get to see a lot of, because it all has to be super serious. I think that brought a different kind of light to it, and I enjoyed that, bringing you kind of into the universe of it a little bit.
I agree.
Knowing that things are ridiculous. Like watching 28 Years Later, just, I mean, it's great movies. Like, but bringing in the alpha who, is just, it's just kind of hilarious.
Yes.
But there's a lot of different metaphor throughout the entire thing, and I think it's apparent. There's no hiding it. I think they did a good job at putting that together.
Yes.
And doing a good job with taking different stories, like the biblical stories, through it, giving each character kind of their own position in that. Right. Their own kind of, their own arcs, their own adventures.
Yes.
But they all, so this is insane.
I know. I don't really know where to start with it. But there was one part I wanted to ask you about. When we were watching it, there's that moment when the Jimmy and the Fingers go to that farmhouse and they're forcing hospitality on these people.
Sure. Charity.
And, yes, right. And right before they force charity on them, there's a moment when Jimmy's giving the big long spiel and he's right in front of the Fingers, and it's this great shot of him in front of them with them behind him and their masks on, and he's like doing this pose like this, and I heard you go, oh, like you sat up a little bit. I'm curious what you were thinking at that moment.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe circle back to it, but I think maybe a good point to start would be kind of towards the beginning when Spike actually ends one of the Jimmies.
Yeah, murders him.
Yeah, just gets a good old stab at him. That was insane, you know. But I think what that does is introduces what is his name, Jimmy. Jimmy. When the finger actually does finally die, he comes over as a shadow over his body, and it's kind of showing that he is like representative, at least in some sense, to whether he wants as a character to get other people to jump on the bandwagon with him, or to believe him, or just scare the piss out of him. But what it does to us is, in that shot, it shows that he is the shadow. Yeah, you know, he's the shadow. So that when the light leaves the body, he's the shadow, and he's there. You know, and they're all just happy, and he's like, you know, the way that they treat death as just a way of life is interesting to point out.
It's very frivolous to them.
Yeah, and that the Jimmies are really representative of the evil that can come over man when all is chaos, when all is lost. You know, it's easy to go into the darkness.
Yes, yeah. That shot immediately when that happened, I was like, okay, we're in for a treat, because that was like, that whole scene was immediately shocking, because he stabs him and you're like, okay, he just got him in the leg, and he hits the artery and he's just gushing blood. And for everybody in the audience, I think there was like audible gasp around. I was like, whoa, like, wow. Like it's intense. But the Jimmies didn't care at all, which was a great little parallel that they're playing with the whole movie.
Yeah. It's not all the time where you get to see someone consciously bleed out and it just be kind of like a nothing to them. You know, that's what the devil wants. The devil wants you to be in the shadow, and it wants you to be in the dark, and you know, you'll lose your blood over it. Right?
a lot of it. Yeah, it was an incredibly shocking moment that set the tone for the movie perfectly. I think that opening scene is one of, if not the best in the movie, because it sets up the stakes, the tone of it, because it can be very silly. Like, the whole movie is very silly, and it's a zombie movie at the end of the day, but there is no zombies present in the first scene. It's just what man does to each other. But I loved when they come out of the pool, and there's one zombie that comes running at them, and they just dispatch it as quickly as they just killed that one guy. And I love that little moment where you can see the Jimmies don't care about human life, and they don't care about zombie life. They are just there to wreak havoc. They view everything as lesser than.
Oh, absolutely. So what that furthers the story, the devil's story, right? Is that how they treat that family when they're in their home, and they're just being completely gluttonous. Yep. You can see the deadly sins on as they just walk through and just live their life. They're just completely in darkness.
Yep. They hit all the deadly sins.
Probably.
I think they do.
You have to. The lust game.
Pride, gluttony, lust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they hit most of them just in that one scene.
So, you know, I think it furthers. I think they do a good job with taking this theme of dark and light, you know, and bringing the Doctor in as kind of the light bringer in a way. Yeah. Which is still in and of itself kind of Luciferian in nature, how he comes in and decides, he's gonna play the devil. Right.
Yeah, which was hilarious. And he has his temple of bones. I think it's very interesting, too, that the man who's created a temple and is seen as probably the ultimate good in this movie is also an atheist. It's like the best part of the movie when he meets Jimmy, which we'll get to more later, I'm sure. But he meets Jimmy and he's like, so you're a Satanist and I'm an atheist. And I was like, this is very interesting how it's going. The guy that doesn't believe in God is the most good person in the movie by a long shot.
Well, he's the balance there between the light and the darkness. He's the middle point. So kind of like a Jesus figure in a way. He's the middle point. Yep. Where he can play in the darkness, and he works through these things, but also he's able to stay in the light, and he kind of brings this. I don't know if he would be the Jesus figure of this plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it has something to do with Samson.
Very biblical name.
Samson's a judge. He's a judge.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting how he walks into the light by. One is a kind of symbol to me that stood out is when he ate that guy's brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
He ate the brain and
pulled his neck off.
He ate the guy's brain and I'm like, he's gonna have a coming to Jesus moment, of like realization. And so Dr.
Kelson,
sees it in him that there's this light. I can see the light in his eyes. It's there's something there.
Yeah.
So I think we can look at that as a way to see like how far into the depths of the abyss that man can fall into. Mm-hmm. But man is still not just an animal.
Right.
And whether it's through this virus or whatever this thing is that's taking over, that symbolizes this great death, just death. Which is darkness, right? Mm-hmm. Is what we see as darkness. This is the virus. Is that there's still life. Mm-hmm. There's still a light at the end of the tunnel. And then humans are nonetheless human.
Yes. There's a couple moments to piggyback off of that I completely agree with you. There's a couple moments that I loved, and they happen very quickly, and they're done visually, which I also love. So there's 3 moments I'm thinking of. The first one is when we get a very brief POV into Samson's vision, and that's like the keystone of the movie for me. When he's attacking that guy that he eats his brain and pulls his neck off. Right before he does that, we see him through his eyes, through Samson's eyes, and he looks like a zombie, even though he's a human. Mm-hmm. And that immediately that kind of shifted the perspective for me, and I would guess majority of the audience, because you have that moment where now we see through the zombie's vision, and we can see who they are, and immediately, without even saying a line of dialogue, we can immediately sympathize with them. Which I think was a huge, huge thing in this movie, where you can see, he sees people like we see zombies, which is a very interesting dynamic that the film's playing with. Like you said, there's never any person that's fully gone.
Right, and I think that in and of itself can help us think of people that are seen as NPCs. Everybody's truly the first player and the hero of their game. NPCs they don't exist.
It's just perspective.
It's just your perspective on it.
Yeah.
And just like a zombie is taken over by the darkness and is spitting whatever, how we can see how we can even look at how he pulls their heads off.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Like, the darkness is just, it will devour you some way. Uh-huh. Right? So, but there's always, a path to the light.
Yeah. And even another moment that I was thinking of, even Jimmy, who is probably the worst character in the movie and one of the worst characters put to screen recently. I mean, he literally skins people alive, orders people to do it for him, takes relish in these horrible acts of violence that he calls charity. And then even he has a moment where he has just a shred of humanity when he meets Dr. Kelson and he talks to him and he's like, "You're really easy to talk to," and he talks about his past. Yeah. And that moment also, just like Samson, these two characters are completely lost in opposite directions. Mm-hmm. But both of them are still human. And that I loved that dynamic. I love that you have the moment in the first film when you see Jimmy and his whole family get eaten up and his pastor dad get eaten up. And that seems very transformative for him. Mm-hmm. He sees his pastor dad get eaten by these zombies and he's like, "Oh, I must be the son of the devil then, because my pastor dad is all about these zombies." Yeah. So he's going to wreak havoc. But then he meets Kelson and something seems to change just a hair, where he's like, "Oh, I thought you were the devil, but you're actually cool and I like you." Which is very interesting. It's a cool dynamic.
Yeah. And then it shows you the real what that ultimate incarnate devil being that everybody could possibly have in them. Mm-hmm. Everyone could possibly have that. It shows you what it will bring you to. Mm-hmm. And ultimate damnation.
Yes. Being crucified.
And then believing that you are, who are you to say, "Why have you forsaken me?"
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's talking to the devil. The devil has forsaken him.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate truth too. It is also that like if you can be the epitome of evil that the alpha embodied as a symbol, and find the light and find the humanity and the love in your heart and to be truly human, which is ultimately what happens. Or you can be quote unquote of the light, which Lucifer claims to be, old Nick, and find yourself at the end in the ultimate darkness, and that's ultimately what happens. So I think this film is a film. I would call it, like, as far as like setting up story and action and climax and meaning, and this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm like right there with you, man.
I'd say this is because I think we need to give major credit to like the trilogies, because trilogies typically don't get better.
No.
But I think this is possibly the best of the franchise.
I think I'm with you. I want to watch it again to get like a real sense of, because I feel like the first watch for me is always, it just washes over me, or I'm like I'm just there vibing, hoping I can find something, and the second watch everything kind of clicks into place. Sure. So I want to watch this again before I really say what I want to say, but I think this could be the best of this franchise, and especially because the franchise started as a kind of generic zombie franchise. Like 28 Days Later has its moments of like man versus man in dark times.
Right, sure, and it's classic. It doesn't have the depth that I saw, and I watched it a few days ago. But like obviously it's a classic movie. It has great classic shots.
Shot on an old
Cillian
camera.
Murphy is fantastic, and I'm actually glad he showed up in this.
Yes,
too.
I'll be very interested.
He's the executive producer on it. So.
I'm very curious now, because like the first one is a classic movie. It's solid. The second one, the 28 Weeks Later, is incredibly boring. It has nothing to do with anybody. Cillian Murphy's not in it. Danny Boyle's not a part of it. Alex Garland's not a part of it. And then you get Boyle and Garland back for 28 years later. And it's this weird, nightmarish, stylistic craziness where they shot it on an iPhone and it's gimmicky. And it has some depth, and there's some really cool stuff about coming of age, leaving your family, leaving the like comfort of your life, and going out into this vicious world. But this one, it's more traditionally a movie. I do kind of miss the style of 28 Years Later with like that one scene when they're running down the causeway and it's all the stars are around them and Alpha's running after them. It's very stylish. And I kind of miss that.
I love that part of it. I mean, there were moments in here that, I don't know, I just think that it actually evolved.
I agree.
Through the different titles.
Yeah. This one feels the most mature.
Yes.
It's probably, I don't know if I'd say it's like the least graphic, but it's very graphic.
I think,
but it's haunting.
I would put it up there in like in terms of like how perfect is this? It's so perfect, and throughout the whole thing. There's just some points here and there.
Yeah, nitpicks, sure.
I can't think of anything. I wouldn't nitpick anything. I would put this up for this. This is gonna win some.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so.
I really think it will.
It
should. If it's looked at as another zombie movie,
it won't. Which is unfortunate.
But it won't be looked at. You can't. Look
I hope
at it this
not.
way. I think it's so deep, and like the I don't know. There's so much to unpack with this movie that.
It's just I don't know.
It's so great, right?
It is. I was buzzing afterwards. Like driving home, I was hyped. There's nothing like a great film to make you just absolutely hyped, and this one was that for me, which is crazy to say about a movie with so much violence. But
and to go to see it in the theater,
it was special.
Was that was big for me, honestly. And I'm going to go back in a couple of days to go watch. There's another movie. It finishes up next week. I'll see that. Forgot what it's called. But
okay,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
What matters is the Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple.
So I have this little, this more detail about Samson.
Okay, let's hear it.
So how, if you look at it, he's going through a rebirth process.
Very much.
It's quite, going through the temple, into the temple, showing, you're being birthed into something else. The cleaning himself with the water, the little baptism ritual there. There's many little things that happen along the way that just like showed how he was going not just through a physical transformation because of whatever drug he was given, but it was because he could understand what was being told to him, and that he was going through a spiritual transformation from when because otherwise he would have killed the thing long ago, right? Gotten rid of it.
Sure.
But since the beginning, even 28 years later, he knew, he could get to him.
Oh, so. Yeah. There's two. I think Samson's the best aspect of the movie, and I loved. This is a little simple thing, but the zombies aren't really a huge part of it. It's like an evil, horrible reflection of the world with zombies that happen to be there. But I really did love when Kelson gives him that cocktail that ultimately kind of reawakens him or rebirths him. Yeah. He goes on the train and he has that flashback, and that's immediately done visually, where it was like, okay, his brain is back, like he's mentally back here. And I love the moment when the stewardess keeps asking for his ticket and he's getting older and older and older. Yeah. That was such a cool moment. But I also loved that it made it clear that when he's fighting all of his tribe, the zombies that are fighting him, and he comes out of it the victor and alive, they bit him up, they scratched him up, and he didn't revert back to being a zombie, which is critical.
Yes. So that what does not kill you makes you stronger.
Makes you stronger. Yep. Which is a critical moment, because now I don't know where they're going to go in the third movie.
So they've overcome the darkness. So he's now immune to it. So once you've come into the light, in some cases you can go back. You can always go back into darkness, but once you manage that, that's where you are.
Yeah,
you stay in the light.
Yes, if anything, we talked about Jesus characters, we talked about this religious aspect. If anything, Dr. Kelson to me symbolizes like a God figure, because he's the one.
He's the father.
Yeah, exactly. He's the father.
He's the father. Samson's the son, right?
Exactly.
And then the other son, of course, is represented by Jimmy. Yes. Jimmy's the other son because
he's like Judas.
Because he said it.
Yeah, literally.
He said it. So it was the representation of them saying, yes, you're my father, even though they were playing around, but he actually did represent the father. So yeah, Dr. What's it?
Kelson.
Dr. Kelson.
Ian
represents,
Kelson.
Ian, it was Ian.
Ian
represents the father.
Of everything.
The unity. He's atheist.
Yes.
He himself is atheist, not recognizing that he is actually the God, representative of the God figure, of the father. And you have that story of there's the redemption. There has to be the redemption, the death, the rebirth, and it goes through all this that in the hero's journey.
And you have a very, very clear and maybe on the nose, but maybe not, very clear parallel to Samson, a la Jesus, being resurrected and moving the stone off of his prison and coming out after 3 days. Samson literally does that too. He comes out of the train in that awesome shot where he comes out and he starts yelling. It's like, okay, he's just Jesus now. He's the son that's gonna help humanity. Exactly. I think that's where the third one has to go. Yeah, it has to.
So it has to continue that because it's so representative, and I think that it's just there's the monomyth, right? It's all stories kind of have and will have a essential theme that kind of runs through.
Yes.
The monomyths called by Joseph Campbell.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the story. It's the story of the hero. It's the hero's journey, and we can see ourselves in every part. And I think we're supposed to draw some kind of meaning from this. as other than it being just a phenomenal piece of artwork.
Yes.
That was super well done and well put together. Props and congrats.
Yes, of course. Everybody's fantastic.
But again, you can search for meaning everywhere, and you can find it, and you can do with it whatever you want, whether you need to learn something or not.
Yeah.
I think there's something always to teach us.
Yes.
That we just, and here I could say just try to keep staying in the light.
Yeah.
We learn that we might lose humanity for ourselves as well as other people, and if we can continue that to see our own humanity, that we can maybe move with purpose, and maybe that's what Samson's going to do in the next one, is find his true purpose of why, because at this point in his transformation, his spiritual transformation, he should be asking himself, why am I?
Yeah, why am I? Yeah,
Why am I here? It should be a new search for meaning and finding a purpose that, maybe ultimately solves this whole thing. And Cillian Murphy's the hero in it.
Yes.
He's going to come back and he's going to do it, and it's going to be them.
I get the feeling if they go this route, Cillian Murphy's probably not going to make it out of the third one. I think he has to die.
Okay.
That's just my thought. But
sure.
I do want to say, too, have you seen the Mad Max movies? Like any of them? Mad Max Road Warrior or Fury Road?
I can't remember.
Okay. But the point I'm going to make here is based on Mad Max. Mad Max, the title is Mad Max. You'd think it's about Max. But frequently, in almost every movie but the first one, the Mad Max movies are not about Max at all. Like the second Mad Max movie, Mel Gibson ends up at a place where he says 12 lines. Like he's not a big factor in the movie at all. He's there to help them and like aid them, but he's like a catalyst to see this world. And that's kind of what has happened to Spike, which is interesting because Spike had his big arc in the last one where he came of age. Right. And then he fell in with the wrong crowd. And now you have these parallel lines between Samson and Spike. And Spike is kind of become a catalyst to view the world through. So wherever he's going now, we're going to still follow him, but I don't think he'll ever be the main character again, which is very interesting. I did not think they'd go that route. Based on how the last one ended, very interesting.
Well, maybe, I mean, you see a lot of the time in this, yeah, he does take quite a back seat. And I think the film was done well, maybe because of that, maybe because there is some transition going on in the background with Spike. Mm-hmm. You see him often, and with the other Jimmies, they put on masks.
Just hide their faces.
Masks hide their faces. That means that their identity is locked, right?
Yep.
So there is a search for an identity here.
Yeah.
And why does he wants out, but he keeps getting trapped in. So he's going to have to learn a lesson. But at this point now, Big Jimmy's dead and gone. Or
probably,
Or so we believe.
Or so we believe. He might
not
not be.
He might not be.
He was just crucified.
Yeah. Upside down, which is also telling.
Yes.
Peter was crucified upside down because he didn't think that he deserved to have the same death as Jesus.
Interesting. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, I between those two, I think too, the interesting thing is, this is so religious too, but there's also this, because it's religious, there's a very clear faith and belief system in the movie. It's like the Jimmies, Jimmy himself wants them to be unconditionally, blindly following him.
Which means they need to be completely blinded.
Exactly, and that's probably part of why they have the masks on, because they're supposed to be unconditionally following him. But you have two non-believers in there. You have Spike and that girl whose name's I'm forgetting, and then
Jimmy.
Yeah, well, okay.
It was Jimmy.
Jimmy, you're right. She said her name at the end, but it was Jimmy, I guess. So there's an interesting faith and belief system in this where they have to blindly follow him, but there's two non-believers in there that ultimately end up being his downfall. And then Kelson, he is a believer in Samson, which is the more father-son type thing again, because he wouldn't do anything that he would have done unless he had the faith and the belief that he could help Samson, even if he didn't initially, or he's just like partying with him. And then he says moon, and there's that, oh, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I have some belief in this now. So there's an interesting dynamic. I don't really know what the point of it is, but that's cool.
There's the moment when he says moon. It's a full moon. Mm-hmm. Moon is reflecting the light, so he's actually seeing the light from he's looking at the father, which represents the sun, in the presence of a full moon.
I see. Okay.
And
yeah, that's
so
interesting.
he's actually able to. That's when he's able to see the light, and he's kind of coming to it in that moment. I feel like one thing is if you ever see a full moon in a film and it's cutting to a full moon, something crazy is about to happen.
Yeah, it's true.
You pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yes, I agree. And they also linked that, like, you have to give some motivation for him to say that, because, like, he's a zombie. He has some of his brain coming back, but he has to have a link to a memory. And they did a good job of actually linking those together too when he's on the train and you see him going through an astronomy or astrology book, and the moon is the thing that he's so captivated with. So that little circular moment of course, if he's going to say his first word, it's going to be moon, because he can remember, maybe not consciously remember it, but he'll remember it.
But yeah, he got through to him, and I was watching something, I forgot what it was, but if you're going through like a retreat, or if you're going through a meditation, the phrase was everybody deserves the time it takes to see it through, or something like that. And so, give the fact that the father gave his son Samson the time he needed to see it, make it work, shows that that's maybe how we should give that grace to ourselves. And we should also give ourselves the time to develop and to learn and to ask questions, but to explore and to grow.
Yeah.
And not just expect something to happen overnight.
Yep.
That normally would take a lifetime. So
yeah, that's a good point. There's the whole movie for me is about perspective, and it's about transition, like you said. It's about giving yourself and others around you the grace to figure out your and their lives. Like, you can help somebody, but ultimately it's their responsibility. It's their own psychosis that has to get them out of it. Absolutely.
You can lead someone to the door and open it for them, but you can't
let them
walk it through it for them.
They got to do it themselves.
So.
And it's cool to see how perspective changes between each character too, because that's a huge part of it. Like, we see Samson's perspective on humans and they're just zombies, and then we see humans' perspective on Samson and he's just a zombie, and then we see the Jimmy's perspective on the father, Dr. Kelson, and they literally think he's Satan, because they're in this echo chamber of, this is what life is for me. There's nothing else but Satan, so I think that this guy has to be Satan.
Yeah. But and to him maybe he is, but he's not, because he's just a reflection, right?
Yeah, he's just a guy.
You see what you want to see until you see that it's just a reflection of yourself.
Yeah, and ultimately you have the moment when Jimmy stabs him and everyone realizes that he's just another guy. And I think that moment is key as well to what will be more than likely in the third one, where they have completely, or at least Spike and this girl, have completely come out of this echo chamber of violence and satanic charity and whatever. And now there is nothing but this, like, light. There's nothing but people. Even zombies are people. Like, they're running away from them at the end, but Samson is going to be that critical part in the third one where he's going to have to open up the eyes of the people that are still alive and be like, oh, okay, everybody's just people. Even if, like you said, even if you think someone's an extra in your life or an NPC, they're still a person. And that's the point, I think.
So this is what'll happen then. He'll take on the Jesus role.
Yep.
And he'll be the light bringer, and showing people the way, and then ultimately be sacrificed. But then everyone gets to live.
Yep, for the good of the world.
Yes.
That has to be where it's going. It has to. So it'll be very interesting to see how they play with it, because you also have to introduce some kind of dynamic, like a Judas character or some kind of like person that rejects that, and that'll be interesting to see what they do. Because if they go this route, which they could not, but they have to.
There may be some zombies that resist in certain ways, or that come to light, but to a certain point, and then
they revert.
Maybe they're human, and they also are reverting back to darkness. You know? So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. This could be legitimately one of the best modern trilogies, honestly. And this is such a high point.
This is honestly, I'm floored. I was floored by it.
Me too. Yeah. I legitimately didn't know how to handle it. But at the end, I was just like, swimming. My head was swimming for hours. Like, I didn't know how to process it at all. But it is such a high point. Mm-hmm. The first one is great. This one's probably better, if not at least on the same level. So and Alex Garland's back for the third one, as far as I'm aware, and he's written all of these movies except for 28 Weeks Later. So he understands his franchise. He understands where he wants to go with it. He's an incredible writer, and whoever they get to direct the third one, they're gonna have one of the best scripts for a zombie movie, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
I want it now.
Yes. I think this is gonna be a great trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then we have another movie to watch next week.
Yes. What should we watch next week? Well, that's the ultimate question now.
So next week, let's see here. So if we go,
I believe Mercy's coming out next week.
That's what I would say. I'm going to watch something else. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to watch Mercy when it comes out, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
okay.
going to go ahead and get tickets as soon as I can.
Yeah, okay.
But then they're releasing a couple other things that are coming soon. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mercy's the big one, but I can't think of... I know, I think Night Patrol... Oh, no, maybe that came out this week.
We have Mercy. We have Send Help.
Oh, yeah. Hyped for Send Help.
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights, okay.
Which I'm in.
We'll see that.
Mystery Monday movie.
Ooh, that would be fun. We should do that.
Mystery Monday.
Okay.
Ooh, Mystery Monday. Rated R.
How long is it?
It is
2:19. Ooh, I wonder what that could be. I'll bet it might be. No, Send Help's got to be shorter than that. I wonder what that would be.
I mean, it's got to be something that's not on the list.
Yeah, it has to be coming out either next week or in 2 weeks.
Send Help. What does it say? Okay, hold on.
It's rated R and it's Oh, I bet it's Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, it's probably.
I bet it's Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, it's probably Wuthering Heights. No, maybe not.
Well, maybe not. It's 2:19. That's 2:16. It's not quite.
Well,
I mean, they might fudge the numbers.
It could be. Hold on, let's Lord of the Rings. It's not.
No, it can't be that.
It's gonna be
Iron Lung. No, that's not 2 hours. None of these are the right length.
Well,
could be Wuthering Heights, I guess.
It's the closest. I mean,
it's the closest one. But we'll definitely watch that. We'll definitely watch Mercy. Yeah. We'll definitely watch Send Help. I can't wait for Send Help. But do you have any final thoughts on the Bone Temple? We've gone over pretty much, I think, everything. But what's your final thoughts?
Okay, so final thoughts, in summation, this was a great movie. I would say The Bone Temple is a top 10 contender for probably one of the best film, maybe. Like, the cinematography, the story, the acting. Symbolism was all fantastic. I think it represents the fight between good and evil, the staying in the light versus staying in the darkness, and that we all have a certain kind of humanity, and if we look inside ourselves, we can give ourselves a little bit of grace to work through the problems and the issues that we have in our lives, and ultimately stay in the light and just be a light for other people, and be what Samson said was love. Isn't that what he said?
I think so.
He said love. And that's ultimately the lesson that we should be taking away from it, is that we should just love each other. Mm-hmm.
Even if they look like zombies.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because they're not really zombies, they're real people, mm-hmm. and they're the hero of their story, just like you are the hero of your story, and I'm the hero of my story, and mm-hmm. Ren is the hero of his story.
Yep.
And yeah, just
fantastic.
Live a good life.
Yeah.
And come out with the third one soon, please.
Couldn't agree more. I think you put it very eloquently. It's a beautiful film. Has a lot to say.
Who are you calling it eloquent?
Eloquent? You. Said it very beautifully. It's a great movie. Check it out. If you haven't seen the original 28 Years Later, you should probably watch that one first. Because, I mean, you could probably get away with not doing it. But since it's such a direct sequel, you should probably watch that one.
It picks up right where it leaves off, so it would make a lot of sense if you watched the first one first.
Yeah, and it's a very different movie. This is a very different movie. But I would highly recommend it to basically anybody. As long as you can stomach gore, this is great. Yeah. You can get a lot out of this. Or you can just watch it as a fun little zombie movie with a guy that dances around with an alpha with his dick hanging out.
Yeah, that, honestly, it doesn't have to mean any of the stuff I
No,
said.
yeah, it doesn't have to mean anything if you don't want it to. And there's a lot going on, and it would probably be more boringer.
Hey, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
it's a great film. So go check it out. We're going to watch Mercy next week, it seems like, and maybe this mystery movie. So we'll see what that one brings us. But appreciate the viewer watching.
And this is the Less Than Perfect podcast. I'm Parker, and this is Rendan. Thank you for watching.